So I'm fully prepared to be getting tons of hate mail for this one. But today's subject is why musicians suck at business. Of course, not across the board. Some musicians are very keen, very shrewd, and they understand marketing. They understand that they must serve a marketplace with their music, and so they understand that marketing is just as important as the music itself. Because if you have amazing music, but you don't know how to get it out in front of people who want to buy it or license it, it's great. It'll collect dust on your hard drive or on your social media where nobody comes and finds it. So being able to market yourself, approach people, and really sell yourself, package yourself in a very consumable way is very, very important. But why is it that a lot of producers, musicians, artists just suck at this stuff? They just don't know how to sort of put their ego aside and kind of start thinking about themselves more as a business person or maybe as an entrepreneur. Even though I kind of don't really like that word. It's a little, well, it's very much overused. But yeah, I mean, we are creative people, obviously. We like creating music. We like expressing ourselves creatively through our artwork. But I have a theory as to why a lot of musicians and producers probably don't have the skills that many people who start businesses or create anything from websites to apps to anything where there's like sort of a transaction happening, why a lot of musicians sort of fail or don't have a lot of that training in their lives. And I think a lot of it has to go back to our childhoods, right? And I'm also speaking for myself. And if you go back and think about your childhood, when you first picked up a guitar or some drums or you got a keyboard, and what was the first thing that people around you would say? You know, they'd say, wow, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, you're good. Or keep at it. Like, you know, hopefully you got some encouragement from your friends, your family, a music teacher. Maybe you were in the school band like I was, and there was somebody around saying, that was awesome. Let's do it again. Or keep playing. I want to hear more. And if you had a little bit of talent growing up, you were pretty much praised for having the talent. And of course, you know, your mom thought you were the best thing ever. Your parents probably thought you were amazing. Hopefully, maybe you had some of those not so nice parents that didn't really encourage it, but you probably got some attention for the talent that you had. Now, think back to your childhood. How many of those people said, you've got a talent, you got something here. Let's figure out how you can market this to the world. How can you get this and turn it into a full-time income for yourself so you can actually do something profitable with this talent that you have? How many people approached you and asked you that or gave you that advice or just at least opened the door for you to think about yourself as a business person? Probably nobody, right? They probably just said, well, that was a cool guitar riff. Oh, you can play piano? Cool, let me hear something. And that was pretty much as far as the conversation went. And they just were marveled by your talent or they were really impressed with what you could do. But nobody took the time to sit you down and say, maybe they didn't even know. You know, that's really part of the problem is the education is just lacking in the world. Not many people know how you can turn music into a full-time income. I mean, if everybody knew how to do that, you wouldn't have the sort of stereotype of the starving musician that just is barely making ends meet with his day job, right? So, I mean, that's partly what I'm doing here with my YouTube channel. I'm trying to educate as many people as possible about the TV film licensing side of the industry. But most people, when you were growing up, you didn't get any sort of encouragement to think, how can I market myself? What should I be doing with my music? What sort of business model should I be setting up for myself so that I get money from people for this talent that I have? Because I can enrich the world, I can make people's lives better, I can make, entertain people. There's a lot of things you can do with your music. So how can I set myself up to be able to create a full-time income or maybe even just a part-time income with this kind of a thing? None of us as musicians or artists really got that feedback or instruction when we were first getting started. So we probably turned on the TV, turned on the radio, and if you were like me, I remember thinking, well, I have to just submit my demos to record labels. And as long as my music is undeniable, like somebody listens to it and they can't say no, I'll get a record deal. I'm going to tour with some of my favorite bands. And that's it. Like, basically, I'm going to get on the level of all these major artists because the only way to become successful is you got to get a record deal and you got to tour the world and get on MTV and get a hit single on the radio. And in order to do all of that, you got to go to a record label. So that was basically my plan, if you want to call it that. But it was really just a pipe dream when I first got started with my music, with all the bands that I had, writing music, all that kind of stuff. So the parable that I say, though, for many people who are just learning about the TV film licensing business, if you're an artist right now and you haven't started licensing your music yet, but you're trying to, you're trying to sell your music on iTunes, you're using something like CD Baby or TuneCore, you have social media, you've got your SoundCloud page, right? You got it all set up. You're following all the rules of what you're supposed to be doing to get yourself out there to the world. If I asked you right now and I put you on the spot, even brought you on my channel and I said, all right, hey, Joe Q Public, what are you doing what's your business plan? How are you going to turn your music into full-time income and make a career for yourself with your music? What would be your answer for that? Like right now, today, what is your actual plan? Have you even written it down? Have you thought about this? Is this anything that's actually crossed your mind in a sort of conscious way? If your answer revolves at all around saying, well, I'm going to keep putting my music out, I'm going to keep promoting, I'm going to keep shooting music videos, I'm going to keep doing this, keep doing that, and eventually I'll get discovered. Somebody will come and find me, some ad agency or a publishing agency or a record label or a manager or just somebody, maybe some artist that I really want to get their attention. They have a sub-label on their group, and so they're going to find me and pull me on board, and I just got to keep at it, and then one day I'm going to get discovered. And if that is your answer, I need you to second guess that answer, okay? I really need you to rethink that, because what if, let's reverse the roles, right? And let's say you're coming up to me right now, today, and you said, hey, Jesse, do you have a plan for retirement? How are you going to retire after all of this, after you decide you maybe don't want to work so much? And I said, yeah, I absolutely have a plan, and I'm definitely going to retire, and I put a lot of thought into that. And you say, okay, what's your plan? I'd like to know how you're going to save and put away money and all that kind of stuff. And I go, save, put away money? No. I'm going to buy lottery tickets every single week. One of these days, I got to win. I mean, I just got to keep going. I got to keep doing it. I got to keep going to the gas station. I got to keep buying the lottery ticket. And one of these days, it's got to hit, and I'm going to win, probably one of those mega billion-dollar mega ball things, and I'll be set. Yeah, sure, half of it will go to the government, but like, $1 billion or whatever, I'll be fine. Like, I'm going to be good, so don't worry about me. How would you feel about me if I told you that? You'd probably laugh me out of the room, feel sorry for me, kind of think, yeah, maybe. I mean, if you cared about me, maybe you're like, hey, Jesse, like maybe not do it that way. Maybe we can think about like saving every single month, maybe investing in something. There might be some smarter, more shrewd ways to get to your point of retirement. And that's what I hear, though, when artists tell me their plan is just to hope and wait and keep putting music out and hope that somebody comes and discovers them. It's the same sort of like, that's not a plan. That really is just hoping and wishing, and that's a pipe dream that's out there, okay? If you have friends and family that have told you that you're, if let's say you're a producer or a songwriter, and they go, maybe you want to get a real job, maybe you want to blah, blah, blah. Now, if you've been telling them, hey, don't worry about it, like I'll keep putting music out and eventually I'm going to get discovered. You just wait and see, it's going to happen. I kind of sympathize with your friends and family a little bit more, because yes, that's not really a plan to just say, I'm going to keep buying a lottery ticket. Don't worry. Like I'll nail that winner one of these days. You wouldn't be considered a serious financial planner if that's what your plan was, right? So I would just encourage you, you can hate me for saying all this. You can be mad at me for pointing this stuff out. Maybe this is obvious to you. Maybe you've never thought about this. I don't know where you are in your career, how much you've put into it. But here's what I want to end this with. It's your life, right? You get one of them. You get one life. It's your career. You get one of those as well. It's your music career. This is your passion. This is what you really want to do. This is what you've wanted to do probably forever. I know that I've been wanting to do this since I first saw, it was like a Beatles documentary on TV. I think I was in the 3rd grade or something, and I just saw that and I was like, wow, I want to be making music. I love the Beatles music. I love this whole thing. And it's been my dream since I was a little kid. So you've probably been wanting to do this for a long time. If it's that important to you, it's also worth putting some more serious thought into it and actually building out a realistic plan for how to succeed, and not just doing the lottery ticket system where you just hope one day somebody will come and take care of all the hard work for you and just deliver you fame and riches and success, okay? So I highly encourage you, check out TV film music licensing. It is one of the last segments of the business that's providing legitimate, real, full-time income for bands, producers, singer-songwriters, you name it. If you can create music and you can get a way to make it recorded and mixed and mastered, You can be a player in this business right from your home studio, just like I am right here from my home studio. And the possibilities are literally endless for for the rest of the music business. There's just a lot of like guessing work. You just hope that your music is going to kind of land with your fans. In the music licensing business, people will tell you exactly what they want in order to get you paid and to get a license and to get a sync fee up front and also earn those royalties on the back end. And literally your success is tied 100% to how hard you work. Don't you wish it was like that for everything in the music business, that if you just put in a whole bunch of hard work and really took your time with your music, you'd go gold or platinum? But it doesn't work that way. It's such a crapshoot in most of the music industry. But in the TV film licensing business, there are people telling you exactly what they want, exactly how to get the license, exactly how to please a client. And the more music you can crank out to please these clients, the more money you make. It, to me, is like the ultimate sense of fairness or justice that there could be in the music business. So I think it's one of the last segments of the industry that's really worth getting involved with if you want to work hard, if you think that your music can be licensed. And if you don't know anything about this business, if you haven't heard it before, below this video, there is a free 5-day crash course that you can enroll in. You can learn everything there is to know as far as how to get started, how to know what kind of music you should be making, how to find music libraries. These are the companies that are looking for new artists to sign and to bring on board with their roster. And as well as all the strategies that I've personally used to make sure this becomes your long-term stable, like literally this becomes your day job where you just wake up like I do every day, come into your studio and crank out awesome music that you want to make. It's not easy, okay? This is not a career path for all producers and all artists. And you have to have a certain mindset and a certain attitude to really do well in it. But I want to clear out all the confusion. I want to clear out all the maybe cobwebs that maybe you have and maybe you don't even know at all anything about this industry. So sort of click on that link below and you'll find out, like starting today, how achievable this side of the business is. And hopefully I can play a small part in getting you away from the stereotype of being the artist that has no business plan, that doesn't know what they're doing out there, and it's just stabbing in the dark hoping that something sticks. You can be a lot smarter than that. You can be a lot more successful than that, as long as you have a blueprint and a business plan from somebody like me who's actually gone through this entire industry and has found what works and what doesn't work. So anyways, send me your hate mail, send me your love mail, comment below this video. I really want to kind of start a dialogue with you guys. What do you think? Do you agree that a lot of musicians and artists really don't have any sense of business? They don't know what they're doing as far as marketing their music? Or do you feel that there are other reasons why a lot of musicians and artists don't seem to find success? Because that's definitely like an undisputable fact. Most artists, I say 95% of artists, musicians, are not finding the success that they want in the world. So leave your comment below. Make sure you like this if you loved it. Dislike it if you hate it. I would just want to hear from you guys. And make sure you subscribe.